My beloved child, for hours I have been trying to tell you something, yet you have not noticed the signs. It is not because I have been silent, but because your heart has been drowned out by the noise of worries and the voices of doubt. That is why I must come to you with this message, for this matter is weighty, touching both your soul and your destiny. Sit down, lay aside the burdens in your mind, and listen with your whole heart. For what I am about to say does not come from anger, but from the depths of love, a love that refuses to give up on you, no matter how many times you turn away. My child, I have not come to make you afraid, but to awaken your soul from the slumber that the world has cast upon you. I do not cry out in the marketplace, but whisper in the quiet places where you can recognize my voice if only you would pause and listen. In those moments when you sit at the table yet your mind is restless about the future. In those times when you look into the mirror and wonder who you are and whether this is truly what I created you to be. In all these moments I have been waiting, not with force but with patience, not with condemnation but with a longing invitation. I was there when it felt as though everything around you was falling apart, when you wondered whether any hope remained for your journey through life. O child, do not let the emptiness in your soul become something you treat as normal. Do not let the coldness you feel within become something you simply learn to live with. I did not create you to live half-heartedly, drifting through the years without knowing why you exist. I placed within you a sacred calling, a summons that not everyone can hear but you can. Because I chose you long before you even knew how to call my name. My dear child, what I am trying to tell you is this: you have lost a part of yourself. Something that once belonged to you, once vibrant and alive within your soul, has now faded like the last light of evening. It may be faith, it may be joy, or it may be the courage that once burned brightly in your mind. Whatever it is, I want you to know this: it can be found again. Not by your own strength, but by my grace. Not by doing something grand, but by yielding and returning. I have watched you shed tears in the darkness when no one could understand the battles raging inside you. I have seen you force a smile while your heart was breaking into pieces. You thought I had abandoned you, but it was in those very moments that I stood closer than ever before. The only reason you did not notice was because your heart was too preoccupied to recognize my presence. But today, in this very moment, I speak to you: stop and return to me. For with me you will recover what you have lost, not mechanically, but through the power of everlasting love. Do you remember the first time you felt my presence, when it seemed as though the heavens opened above you, when every worry dissolved in the comfort that needed no words? You once had a sensitivity in your soul, easily recognizing my guidance, but now everything feels blurred and distant. This is not because I have withdrawn, but because you have gradually stepped away. Each small choice to follow your own way, each delay in heeding, my whisper, each moment of choosing convenience over obedience, these have slowly worn your heart down, leaving it weary and dry. I do not blame you, not once. But I invite you to return. Remember, the door to life remains open, though you do not know how long it will stay that way. What you overlook today may become the very thing you regret tomorrow. And what I speak to you today may be the final bell calling you to awaken before the night fully covers your soul. You believe you still have time. You believe there will be other chances. But there are certain moments in the history of the soul when delay means loss. Today is one of those moments. Do not turn away. Do not ignore this. Do not allow what I am speaking now to fade into a distant sound you later chase in vain. For today I still stand at the doorway of your heart knocking. Let me restore you. Let me touch the places of your soul that have withered in disappointment. Let me breathe new life into your weary spirit. I have not come merely to help you survive. I have come that you may live abundantly, that you may walk in clarity and joy, in the assurance of knowing who you are and to whom you belong. I know you are tired, doubtful, and disoriented, but I do not demand perfection of you. I simply call you to return. And if you will only turn back, I will run to you with arms that will never close against you. My beloved child, do not wait another day. Let these words mark the beginning of a new season in your life, a season of restoration, a season of understanding, a season of holiness and truth. Do not allow silence to linger. Do not let the darkness overtake you. I am speaking now in this very moment, and you know it. You know this is not mere words. This is the call of a Father who has never abandoned you and will never forsake you. My beloved child, I see within your heart something that has long been forgotten, not by accident, but because the years filled with responsibilities and pressures have drawn you away from the sacred core I once placed inside you. A vital element of your being, a portion of your soul I shaped from the very beginning, has remained neglected, still unawakened, still unlived. It is the sacred calling I engraved deep within your spirit. And now this is the time for you to awaken to that invitation, for the appointed moment has come, and it will not wait upon hesitation. You have been caught in the cycles of daily life, where the noise of responsibility has drowned out your soul. You have poured yourself into work, into dreams of success, into longings for recognition and love. Yet the more you chase after these things, the emptier you feel. The harder you strive to satisfy your mind, the more barren your soul becomes. Have you not sensed this in the quiet of the evenings, when all activity fades and a hidden unease slips into your heart? This is not by chance. It is the whisper of eternity stirring the slumbering depths of your soul. I know you have tried. I know you have persevered in what you believe to be right. But sometimes what seems right in the eyes of the world becomes the very chain that binds you, keeping you from the abundant life I have prepared. You have done what is good, but you have not yet lived for the greatness I destined for you. I did not create you merely to be busy. I created you to be whole, whole in your identity, whole in your mission, whole in my presence. My child, the fields within you are parched, longing for the streams of heaven. This is not something the world can give. The recognition of others cannot heal the pain within your heart. Outward achievements cannot replace the sacred calling inside you. You may conceal it from others, but you cannot hide it from me, for I am the one who placed it within you, and I alone am the one who can awaken it again. I have heard that call in the long sleepless nights, in the fleeting moments when my mind suddenly grew still amid the chaos. It was then that you whispered, you were created to live for more than this. Yet I returned again to the old cycle, filling the emptiness with work, with social media, with hurried gatherings, but my heart remained cold. I was not wrong in striving to build a life, but what I neglected was the connection with the one who gave me life in the first place. Now you do not come to condemn me, but to call me back. You long to soothe the dry ground of my soul with the living water. You long to give me not just passing comfort, but an eternal purpose. What I lack is not another opportunity nor a better condition. What I lack is your abiding presence in every breath, every decision, every season I walk through. I was not made merely to exist. I was born to shine within the sacred calling, and now is the time to step into it. Do not wait until your heart grows hardened. Do not let precious moments slip away while you remain in delay. Do not look back one day with a sigh. If only I had answered that call. I am here now with arms wide open, not to demand, but to restore. Let me plant once more in your heart the seeds of life, faith, humility, courage, and the deep longing to walk with me each day. Do you remember the last time you truly wept, not from hurt, but because you felt me so near? Do you remember the feeling of being loved unconditionally, not for what you could achieve, but simply for who you are? I want you to live again in that truth, not according to fleeting patterns, but according to the eternal design I crafted for you alone. Open your heart, lay aside every worry, be still. I am speaking, and this time, do not let that call become a stranger to you. The appointed time is drawing near. A season of transformation has arrived, and I do not want you to miss it. When you choose surrender, when you let go of what no longer belongs to you, when you are ready for me to realign your steps, you will begin to taste a new life. It will not be an easy road, but it is the only one that leads you to true wholeness. Believe this, the dryness within you is not the end, but a sign that you are being invited into a rain from heaven. This rain is not merely to wet the ground, but to awaken what has long been buried. Let me do this today. Let me restore what has been lost. Let this new sacred season begin here, with obedience, with surrender, with eternal love. My beloved, in this endless race for what is outward, you have built monuments with your own sweat and ambition, achievements that appear magnificent, yet are hollow within. You have gathered victories, applause, and what seemed like glory. Yet when night falls, your soul still aches with an unnamed emptiness. For in the pursuit of great things on the outside, you have forgotten the holiest treasure within deep communion with the one who created you. You once thought that if you gained enough success, enough wealth, enough status, you would finally be filled. But my child, no silver or gold can fill the spiritual void in your heart. No praise can replace my embrace. No peak on this earth can compare to the joy of walking in my presence day by day, moment by moment. You have called it striving for the future, but in truth you are losing the present. You have called it building a life, yet you have forgotten that a true life is not built on the stones of fame, but on faithful closeness to me in the smallest things. I am not against your dreams or ambitions. Indeed, it was I who planted those visions in your heart. But if they become the throne upon which you sit in place of me, then they are no longer blessings but burdens. My beloved child, I see that you are weary, not because you are weak, but because you have lived too long away from the source of life. I have seen you sitting there in the lonely nights that followed your successful celebrations, yet your heart felt empty. I have seen you laugh under the dazzling lights of this world, while deep inside your heart echoed a voiceless question, "Is this all there is?" And I was there, never taking my eyes off you. I did not speak at once, for I honor the freedom of your choice. But today, as you reach the limits of yourself, I declare, my child, it is time to come home. The communion you lost is not a religious ritual or a duty-bound prayer. It is life itself. It is the breath of your soul. It is the invisible thread that binds your heart to mine. You were not created to struggle through this life alone. You were created to walk with me, in me, and for me. Let me remind you of this: fullness does not come from what you possess, but from the one to whom you belong. Everything I have given you, your wisdom, your talents, your creativity, your will, are tools for you to glorify my name, not to build a world apart from me. When you cut yourself off from the root, the fruit you bear will soon wither. But when you are deeply rooted in my presence, you will blossom and bear fruit in its season, not by striving, but by grace. I know you never meant to drift away. I know you only wanted to do the best you could, yet I call you to go beyond the best. I long for you to live in the true to the essence of who you were created to be, true to the divine calling within you. You were not destined to live by what eyes can see or ears can hear. You were destined to live by the guidance of the Spirit, by the still small voice of power that resounds from heaven. You may ask, how can I return when I have gone so far? And I will answer, just turn back. No elaborate rituals are required. No need to prove anything to me. All it takes is a sincere, repentant heart, a whisper, "Father, here I am." And in that very moment, I will run to you as the Father ran to meet the prodigal son in the parable. No judgment, no rebuke, only perfect love wrapping around you, saying, "My child who was lost is now found again." My beloved child, there is a peace waiting for you, a joy that does not come from circumstances but from presence, a deep understanding that you do not need to strain yourself to prove anything. You only need to live true to what I have called you to become. Then everything you do will no longer feel like a burden, but will flow naturally like the current of a soul living in union with the source of life. So then, my child, let go of the fleeting distractions you once mistook for happiness. Lay down the burdens you have built upon yourself. Stop seeking the approval of the world and turn instead to seek my gaze, the gaze that has always followed you with joy and mercy. The time has come for you to choose life over mere existence, to choose purpose over busyness, to choose me over the things that vanish so quickly. I am waiting, not in some distant place, but right here in the very place where you stand. I do not withdraw. I do not leave. I am whispering, come back. Step into the quiet where it is only you and me, where everything can begin again in a new way, in a true way. Are you ready, my beloved child, in your restless pursuit of the world's busyness? You have forgotten the silence, the very space where true life is formed and nourished. It is in that stillness that your soul is healed, where I pour fresh strength into you, where heavenly light weaves its way in and illuminates the hidden corners you have never let anyone touch. To neglect silence is not merely an oversight, but a loss of the most vital part within the very core that longs for a meaning beyond all that is shallow, the deep part that yearns to flow with my eternal current. You have allowed the clamor of noise to drown out the gentle whisper of eternity, and so you feel empty even when you think you have everything. There is a call resounding in your heart, not from the glitter of the world, but from the depths of time where the ancient rhythm of creation still echoes. It is the call that draws you back to your origin, where your soul was woven by the loving hands of the Creator. It calls you to step out of meaningless paths, to rediscover your true essence, to realize that you were not born to dissolve into what is temporary, but to shine with an eternal mission. Do you hear that whisper? It is not an illusion, but the echo of the one who shaped the universe, urging you to return. My child, you still think that if you had more wealth, status, or success, your soul would be satisfied. Yet each time you reach for those things, you find yourself emptier than before. The reason is that your soul was never designed to be fulfilled by what is fleeting. You were created to live in my presence, to join in the eternal song I began from the very start. Nothing in this world can replace that. You may try to fill the void with relationships, with recognition, with achievements, but once again, all of it will fade, for that emptiness can only be filled by me. Look back and you will see that every season of your life has echoed this call. As a child, you felt a pure joy simply by gazing at the sky or listening to the song of birds. As an adult, there were moments when in the midst of busyness you suddenly sensed an inexplicable emptiness. These moments are not accidents, they are reminders from me. I want you to know that behind all the chaos and heaviness, there is always a quiet current flowing, waiting for you to return. Beloved one, I know your heart longs for a greater meaning. You are weary of endless cycles, wondering whether life is truly nothing more than eating, sleeping, working, and repeating. I declare, no, you were born for something far greater. You were created to reflect my glory, to become living proof that light always triumphs over darkness. That is why when you chase after what is temporary, your soul cries out in emptiness because it longs for eternal life. My child, there is an ancient rhythm still pulsing through your very veins, the rhythm of creation of that first command, let there be light. And that light still resounds today, inviting you to enter into true life. This call never ceases, even though you have ignored it many times. It is like an underground river. Though you try to cover it, it continues to flow because it is the truest essence of who you are. My child, do not ignore that call any longer. Each time you turn away, your soul grows more withered. But if you return, if you allow me to lead you back into the stillness, you will find the fountain of living water flowing forth, renewing everything within you. When you learn to pause, you will hear my voice clearly. When you learn to humble your heart, you will taste the sweetness of my love. And when you choose to follow this call, you will discover the freedom you have long been searching for. Beloved child, silence is not an empty void, but the place where I reveal eternal life. It is in the stillness that you will hear my voice more distinctly than anywhere else. You will realize that the worries which once drained your strength no longer have power to bind you. You will see that peace does not come from everything being perfect, but from knowing you are safe in my embrace. Therefore, my child, return. Learn to seek the quiet not as an escape from the world, but as an entry into a deeper dimension of life. There you will find the strength to stand firm, the joy to continue, and the clarity to know the path you must walk. That call still resounds, and it will never cease until you respond. My beloved, this is not merely a whisper, but the tolling of the soul's bell, a fierce summons rising from the deepest part of your being. It is an echo from the sacred realm, reminding you of an origin that cannot be denied. You are a child of the Creator, a reflection of the Spirit, not made merely to exist, but to create alongside, to heal alongside, to walk in the noble mission appointed for you since before time began. You are not a spectator of your own life. You are not condemned to live as an outsider in a story already written. You are the central character, the co-author of new chapters in your journey under my guidance. This is the moment to remember that within your soul dwells a divine spark able to restore what has been broken, to rebuild what has fallen apart. But before you can bring healing to the world around you, you must return to heal yourself. You must pause amid the chaos and recognize that your truest self is crying out from neglect. This call is not meant to condemn, but to draw you back to the truth. You were not created to vanish into the machinery of society, but to live a life of depth, of purpose, of real communion with me. Look at yourself in the mirror, not the tired eyes from sleepless nights, not the forced smile crafted to please others, but the soul within that longs for something greater than what the senses can grasp. There is a part of you that knows this world cannot fill that sacred emptiness. And I tell you, you are not insane for feeling lacking in the midst of abundance, nor are you weak for searching for meaning in the midst of victories. That is the very sensitivity I placed within you to remind you that all you truly need can only be found in a living relationship with me. You once heard my voice when you were a child in the quiet evenings when gentle light streamed through the window and your soul was still pure. But as you grew, you let the noise of the world drown it out. You traded silence for hurried conversations, presence for a busy schedule, eternal love for momentary satisfaction. You used the spotlight to conceal the shadows within, yet my light is unlike that stage light. It does not blind you, it illuminates. It does not strain you, it sets you free. My child, in missing the present, you forfeit the most precious gift I have given life in this very moment. I am not only the God of the glorious future, I am the God of the sacred now. Here, amid your sighs, your weary bows, your seemingly meaningless moments, I am with you. And if you pause long enough to feel it, you will see I have never left. I have never stopped calling your name. But you can only hear me when you are still. This is an invitation to return to that sacred place, the place untouched by anything external, the place where you need no mask, the place where your tears are understood, the place where no explanation is required, for I already know it all. You do not need perfection to draw near to me. It is in your brokenness that I can bring forth something new. It is in what you think is shameful that I can bring forth beauty. And it is in the very place you feel useless that I can awaken a great gift lying dormant. I did not come to rebuild a flawless person according to the standards of this world. I came to restore the sacred wholeness within you, to awaken in you a person who can hear the voice of eternity, who knows how to lift their eyes and live not merely to seek, but to commune. To live not merely to achieve, but to become. To live not merely to survive, but to reveal my love in a world that longs for light. My child, you cannot go on living cut off from your own source and still expect peace. You cannot keep chasing after fleeting things and hope to find something steadfast. It is time to return to be reconciled with yourself, with the parts you have denied, forgotten, or tried to bury. It is time to step out of the cycle of avoidance and begin again the sacred conversation I initiated long ago. Delay no longer. Give back to me the moments of your day that you have spent on countless other things. Begin again with a whisper, with a prayer, with a silent nod. No noise is needed, no display is needed, only truth, only the opening of your heart. And when you open, you will discover that I have always been waiting at the threshold of your heart. I do not come demanding that you understand everything at once. Instead, I invite you to begin again with what is simplest presence. Be present to yourself. Be present in every breath. Be present as you drink water, as you walk, as you see the light streaming through the window. And in that presence, you will see me not as a distant concept, but as a father close to you, loving you, touching you, and speaking to you. I am still here. And when my presence seeps into every barrier you have built over the years, you will see wonders begin to unfold. Not outward miracles, but an inward transformation. You will learn to love yourself again. You will begin to feel life in its fullness once more. You will start to see others with eyes of mercy instead of comparison. You will discover how to live truthfully in a world full of illusions. And you will become light not because you strive to, but because you are united with the source of light. My child, I do not promise that you will no longer face difficulties, but I promise you will no longer be alone. I do not say that every trial will disappear, but I tell you that you will have the strength to overcome, for that strength does not come from you. It comes from me, the one who dwells within you, and when you are united with me, nothing can stand against you. So step forward, lay down the heavy demands of the self, put aside the vague desires you have been chasing only to fill the emptiness within. Return to the present moment, to communion, to eternal love. And then you will realize you are no longer lost. You are coming home. My beloved child, I want you to understand that this very moment, the breath you inhale and exhale, is a gift beyond compare. The present moment is not something you must wait for until you achieve some success to live it fully. It is the doorway, the meeting place between you and me, where eternity and the temporal world touch. Yet you have unknowingly missed it, for your eyes have always been fixed ahead, always longing for a brighter tomorrow, believing that only when you arrive, only when you attain, will you taste happiness. You have been running endlessly forward while the true treasure has always been lying right beneath your feet. My child, life is not some distant destination, nor is it a mountain peak you must exhaust yourself to conquer. Life is the very breath rising and falling in your chest. It is the patient beating of your heart, unceasing day and night, reminding you that you are still here, still loved, still given the chance to return. Every moment you live is a miracle you often take for granted as you chase glittering things out there. But I want you to pause, to close your eyes for a while, to listen to the gentle music of life, the melody I wove, especially for you since the moment you were formed in your mother's womb. I have traded the present so many times, clinging only to hope for tomorrow. I thought that happiness would come when I had more money, when I held a higher position, when I received greater recognition. But happiness is not hidden in the someday. Happiness is found in the now. I kept waiting for a season to arrive that would finally bring me peace, but true peace never comes from circumstances. It comes only from my presence within you. And that presence is not in some distant tomorrow, it is here today. I do not promise to meet you in a foggy future. I am waiting for you in this very moment. My child, there is a secret that the wise have already discovered. When you embrace the present moment, you touch eternity. When you stop worrying about tomorrow and cease grieving yesterday, this moment becomes sacred. It is here that you will sense me most clearly. I do not hide in faraway ambitions, nor do I retreat into faded memories. I am here. I speak to you now. And I want you to know that in this present moment, I can transform you, heal you, and restore all that once seemed lost. Imagine if every breath you took were received as a prayer. If every heartbeat were welcomed as a promise that you are alive, that you are loved, that you are being given yet another chance. Think of what it would mean to walk not in haste but in awareness, knowing that each step is a testimony to the grace that upholds you. Then you would no longer race against time, no longer measure yourself against others, no longer crave achievement as proof of your worth. Instead, you would begin to live, truly live. My child, do not let the present be nothing more than a meaningless stop between the past and the future. Do not let today slip away without leaving a mark upon your soul. Open your eyes and see the sunlight streaming through the window, the song of the birds, the sudden smile of a passerby, or simply the moment you are able to sit quietly in your own room. These are all little miracles. You have often prayed for great signs, but sometimes the sign is in the ordinary beauty right before you. For I do not only reveal myself in storms, I am also present in the gentle breeze, in stillness, in the simple moment when you dare to breathe deeply and recognize I am still here. You have grown accustomed to living as though the destination were all that mattered. But I want you to know that the journey itself is a gift. Value does not appear only at the end. Each step carries meaning. If you fix your gaze only on the finish line, you will miss the beauty of the flowers along the path, the refreshing streams flowing beside you. In the same way, if you live only in expectation of a perfect tomorrow, you will overlook the small yet sacred expressions of my love that surround you today. My child, learn the way of being present. Be present in every handshake, every glance, every gentle word. Let my love seep into the simplest details of your life. For it is in treasuring the present moment that you will learn to live in grace. And when you live in grace, you will see that there is no need to run the endless race of proving yourself. You will cease fearing tomorrow, cease being haunted by the past. You will see that each day is a day I have made, and you may rejoice and find peace in it. Beloved, carve this truth deep within you: the present does not repeat itself. Every passing second is unique, and each moment carries within it an invitation to return to yourself and to me. Do not let your mind drift endlessly ahead to where worries and unformed expectations only weary you further. Do not let it imprison you in the endless cycle of not yet enough and not yet arrived. Come back, live here now. I know this is not easy. The world constantly pushes you to run faster, to do more, to acquire more. Yet I speak to you: be still and know that I am God. When you pause to be still, you will see you are not alone. I still hold time. I still hold every detail of your life in my hand, and I desire you to rest in that truth. My child, the present moment is the bridge that connects your soul to eternity. When you live fully within it, you will no longer feel as though you are just a meaningless speck of dust. You will know you are part of the greater design, that you have a place and a purpose, that every breath you take echoes into the heavens. And when you begin to live this way, your whole life will become a hymn of worship, not only through songs of praise, but through your awakened presence in each passing moment. Beloved, in the deepest silence, where thoughts lose their power, where ambition ceases to stir, there you will find my presence, the presence that asks for no justification, no embellishment, no pretense. There you will see who you are, what you were created for, and why I have placed you in this life. The answer you seek is not found in the noise of the world, nor in outward success, but in the stillness within, where my voice is most clearly heard. You have lived too long within the whirlpool of endless desires. The world tells you your worth lies in achievement, in fame and the recognition of others. But my child, all of that is an illusion, like a mirage in the desert. You may chase it endlessly, but when you reach out, it vanishes. That is why I call you to stop. Step into the quiet space where every hollow echo fades, so that you may hear the truth of who you are. You are my creation, formed in my image, covered in my love, and made to walk in eternity. You once asked, why is there always an emptiness in my heart that nothing can fill? I told you that emptiness is the place I have reserved for my presence. It is not a flaw, but an invitation. You may try to fill it with work, with relationships, with entertainment, but only for a moment before it feels empty again. That is the sign that you were made for something greater, deeper, and eternal. And only when you return to me will that emptiness be filled. My child, you do not need to go far to find this. It is not hidden in long journeys, nor in your efforts to prove yourself worthy. It is right here in the stillness of your own heart. I am already there, waiting for you to open your heart, waiting for you to realize that nothing but me can give you the peace you long for. With just a single moment of true stillness, you will feel a different breath, the breath of life, of truth, of love covering you. The moment you return to silence, you will see that the great questions you once carried within are no longer so heavy. You will realize that the answer is not a formula, not a detailed plan, but a person. I myself am the answer. I am the source of all life, the beginning and the end. And when you know this, you will stop chasing after trivial things, stop searching in vain, for you have found true fullness in me. My dear child, I know there burns within you a longing to know who you truly are. You have let the world define you with its labels, its achievements, its judgments about your past mistakes. But in the silence, when you look into my eyes, you will know the truth. You are not defined by your failures, nor limited by what you have yet to achieve. You are defined by my love for you, and that love never changes. It does not depend on whether you are strong or weak today. It does not fade when you stumble. It is eternal love, forever unbroken, forever inseparable. I once ran from silence, fearing what I might face within myself. But my child, in that stillness there is no punishment, only healing. In the quiet you will hear my voice, gentle, yet strong, tender, yet full of authority, declaring, "You are mine, you are loved, you are worthy." These words will dissolve your shame, mend your wounds, and fill the emptiness you have carried for so long. Return to the quiet, for there you will find new strength. When you pause, the path ahead becomes clear. When you are silent, you will hear my guidance. When you let go of the noise, you will see my hands carrying you step by step. You need not run anymore. Stay in me, and you will discover your wholeness. Beloved child, the longing that accompanies you on every journey is a reminder that your soul was created for something far greater than what the eye can see. It is like a melody echoing endlessly within your heart, compelling you to keep seeking. And I tell you that melody is the song of heaven calling you home. Each time you hear it, each time you feel incomplete, it is I who am drawing you nearer. Do not fear this longing. Let it lead you back to me. When you return, you will see clearly that all you sought outside was but a shadow. You will realize you no longer need to compare yourself, no longer need to strive to prove your worth. For in me you are enough. In me you are whole. In me you have everything. And when you live in this truth, you will be free. Free from the judgment of others, free from the chains of your own mind. Free to live as who you truly are, a child of the Creator made to reflect the eternal light. My beloved child, what your soul longs for is not found in the great things of the outside world, but in the sacred art of stillness. This stillness is not the silence of an empty room, nor the lonely void of being by yourself. It is a spiritual state where you learn to let go, where you allow your heart to beat in rhythm with grace, and where your inner ears open to hear the whispers of eternity. These calls have never disappeared. They have only been veiled beneath the noisy dust of a life weighed down with worries, competition, and fleeting dreams. You have spent too much time chasing after the calls of the world, believing that if only you could have a little more success, a little more recognition, a little more affection from others, then your soul would finally be satisfied. You have built walls of ambition, of fear, of empty promises, thinking they would shield you from emptiness. But my child, those walls do not protect you. They have only become invisible chains. They have turned into a prison, keeping your soul in darkness, preventing you from sensing the divine light that has always been flowing from the deepest source within you, the light from me, the one who breathed life into you. My beloved child, do you see why you still feel weary, even after achieving what you desire? It is because what you chase on the outside was never designed to fill the inner void of the spirit. That emptiness can only be filled by my presence. All that you gather, fame, status, wealth, relationships, they are like stones hastily dropped into a bottomless pit. They fall away and vanish, leaving you with an even greater emptiness than before. And so you run again and search again, unaware that the key to escaping this endless cycle lies within your very soul stillness. Silence is not a meaningless pause. It is the bravest act you can take in this noisy world. It is the courage to set aside the clamor of public opinion, to release restless desires, and to sit down and allow your soul to breathe again. It is the place where you begin to hear the voice you have long ignored, the call of my love. When you step into that silence, you will realize something simple yet liberating. You do not need to do anything more to be loved, for you were already loved long before you even knew this world. My child, I know that at times you are afraid of silence. For when all the noise disappears, you are forced to face the wounds, the losses, the fears you once buried deep. You fear that if you stop, you will collapse. But my beloved, it is in that very silence that I draw near to heal. You do not have to endure alone. When you dare to enter that peaceful space, you will find my arms stretched out, not to condemn, but to lift you up, to soothe you, and to restore you. Remember, this silence is not a dark emptiness, but a sacred space where you and I meet. In that silence, you will be illuminated. What once seemed unclear will become plain. Burdens that felt impossible to release will grow lighter. You will see that the walls you built around your soul were nothing more than illusions, and when my light shines upon them, they will crumble like dust. You will step out in freedom, no longer imprisoned, no longer defined by emptiness or failure, but by the abundant life I have placed within you. My beloved child, I tell you this, the time has come for you to relearn the art of silence, not as a new skill, but as a way of life. Each day take time to sit in stillness, to breathe in and breathe out with the awareness that I am with you. Do not search for me in the uproar of the city. Seek me in the moment you dare to be quiet. Then you will see that in every beat of your heart I am speaking. You are loved, you are known, and you belong. My child, that silence not only transforms your inner being, but also changes the way you see the world. You will perceive more clearly what is true and what is illusion. You will discern what must be held onto and what must be released. And above all, you will learn to listen not only for yourself but also for others, those who are imprisoned within the very walls they themselves have built. You will become my instrument, leading them toward the source of light. I know the first step is always the hardest, for you are accustomed to movement, to being driven by schedules, to being defined by achievements. Yet I tell you, this one moment of stillness with me is worth more than 1,000 days of wandering out there. For in that moment, you find true life, you discover meaning, and you recognize yourself in me. My child, let silence be your companion, not your enemy. Let it teach you to slow down so you may see grace, to cease running, so you may feel love, to stop searching outward, so you may discover the treasure within. When you learn this, you will realize that those walls were never truly unshakable. They have only been waiting for my light to touch them so they may crumble. And when they fall, you will step out, breathe a free breath, and know that you were not created to dwell in captivity but to live in the light. My beloved, I call you to release every barrier you have built around yourself. The walls you constructed to protect yourself may seem to offer safety, but in truth they only imprison your soul, preventing you from receiving the tenderness I long to give. You have clung too tightly to old memories, to wounds unhealed, to vague fears of the future, and these very things have caused you to miss the most precious gift, the present moment. Allow yourself to step into the gentle embrace of this moment, where every second carries within it a beauty, a message, an opportunity to touch true life. The present is not merely a meaningless flow of time, but the place where I dwell, the sacred space where you may finally find the fullness your heart has longed for. In the stillness of the present moment, you will encounter what the world can never offer: the fullness of a love that knows no bounds, the depth of wisdom that surpasses all human understanding, and the gentle joy that no circumstance can ever take away. You often believe that love must be proven through grand gestures, yet you do not realize that the greatest love is revealed in the smallest of moments. A ray of morning sunlight touching your face, a cool breeze brushing past a heartbeat resting in peace, all are reminders that I continue to cover you with an eternal love. My child, sit down, breathe deeply, and you will see that my presence has never left you. While you rush after dreams of your own, I patiently wait for you to pause and notice that you were never meant to carry the weight alone. Let me carry you across the rough paths. Let me wipe away the tears you hide from others. Let me be your safest refuge. When you allow yourself to rest in my embrace, you will discover that the burdens you have carried for so long were never truly yours to bear by yourself. Beloved one, I know that doubt still lingers in your heart. You fear that if you let go, you will lose control. You worry that if you stop protecting yourself, you will be wounded. But have not the walls you built been the very cause of your pain? You have tried to hold on, yet the tighter you grasp, the more weary you become. You have isolated yourself, and it is that very isolation which has withered your soul. Be brave enough to release. Trust that in my arms you are not only safe but also healed and renewed. In silence you will discover another reality, a reality in which you no longer need to prove your worth through achievements, nor strive endlessly for the approval of others. You will understand that you have always been enough in my eyes, for you are my masterpiece. You were created to bear my image, to live in fullness, to radiate love. When you return, you will not only find yourself, but also uncover the deeper purpose your soul has longed for. My beloved child, do not be afraid when you step into silence. It is not an empty void, but a doorway leading you into abundant life. In that stillness, I will speak to you of great things, grant you new visions, and open paths you have never thought of before. I will teach you to see life through the eyes of heaven, to love with my own heart, and to stand firm amid the storms with strength from above. My child, I call you to embrace the present as a gift. Open each moment with gratitude, and you will discover that even the simplest things bear my mark. As you learn to live in the present, you will no longer be haunted by the past, nor troubled by the future. You will learn to savor every moment as a living prayer, and each breath of yours will become a song of praise. My dear one, pause and allow your heart to rest. Do not keep running. Do not wear yourself out. For you were not created to live trapped in a cycle of worry and fear, but to live in freedom and peace. I want you to see that when you release control and entrust it to me, all things will be arranged in the best way, far beyond your calculations. Beloved, the time has come for you to let go of what no longer belongs to you. Leave the past behind, let the wounding words scatter with the wind, and allow my love to fill every empty space. You will no longer wander as one lost, but will become a child of light guided by grace. In the silence, you will learn to listen not only with your ears, but with your soul. You will come to discern what is truly my voice, and what is merely the false noise of the world. My child, let this present moment become a new beginning, a beginning not built on fear or self-defense, but on love, trust, and surrender. When you choose to open your heart, you will discover something wondrous. The present is not empty at all, but brimming with opportunities for you to step into a life richer than anything you have ever imagined. My beloved, the things you have tirelessly pursued in this world are but fleeting shadows. You thought they were treasures, yet when you reached out to grasp them, they dissolved, leaving behind a void even greater than before. You believed work would make you feel important, that fleeting pleasures in the night could soothe the weariness within. But my child, all of these are like fragile smoke. They may cloud your eyes for a moment, but they soon vanish, leaving you face to face with an undeniable truth. True peace does not dwell in possessions, nor in success, nor in momentary delights. Real peace can only be found when you return to the sacred essence I placed within you from the very beginning. You have tried to adorn each day with tasks, to complete each night with relationships and amusements, yet the more you painted over your life, the more empty you felt. This is not your fault, nor is it weakness. It is because you have been searching in the wrong places. You have sought wholeness in things that cannot make you whole. You have run to what is temporary in search of what is eternal, and you will never find it there. You are like one thirsty, yet drinking from an empty vessel. I want you to know there is a source of living water, and only that source can quench the thirst of your soul. My child, I have seen you gather accomplishments and yet still feel unsatisfied. I have seen you try to fill the emptiness with forced laughter, with fleeting moments of forgetting yourself. But in the end, when night falls and all that remains is you and your own heart, you recognize a vast silence within. That silence is a reminder that you need me. You were not created to live without communion with me. You were not created to fill your life with material things, but to fill it with the holy presence of your Creator. My beloved child, your true worth does not lie in what you achieve, but in the sacred essence I have placed within you. You may lose your job, your status, even the very things you once considered most important, but you will never lose the true identity I have given you. That identity is not a product of this world, nor is it defined by human praise or criticism. It comes from me, the one who created you in my image, breathed my life into you, and called you by a name known only to you and me. My child, I want you to understand that true wealth is not gold or silver, nor is it power or influence. True wealth is living in unshakable peace, knowing you are loved unconditionally and experiencing my presence in every moment of your life. It is when you open your eyes each morning with gratitude, when you fall asleep safe in my embrace, when you know that even if storms rise, you will stand firm because I am your stronghold. You once thought wealth meant having no lack of material possessions, but I tell you, wealth is when your soul is satisfied in my love. For there are those with riches overflowing, yet their souls are empty, while there are others who have nothing but me, and yet they overflow with peace and joy. The world defines wealth by what you possess, but I define it by whom you belong to. And when you belong to me, you have everything. My beloved child, do not let shadows deceive you. Do not let the noise of this world make you forget the simple truth you were created to live in communion with the Eternal One. You are not merely surviving day by day, you carry within you the stream of everlasting life. Return to the stillness where you will hear my voice, where you will feel the fullness no outward thing can give. It is in that stillness that you will learn to lift your head high, not because of what you own, but because you know who you are. My child, the peace I give is not like the peace of this world. It does not come from everything being perfect, but from knowing that no matter what happens, I am with you. That peace will enable you to smile even in trials, to be lifted up when you fall, and to stand firm when everything around you shakes. It is the eternal treasure no one can ever take from you. I call you to stop chasing after shadows and step into the truth. Stop searching in what is fleeting and instead seek the source of eternal life. Stop trying to make yourself valuable through achievements and realize that your worth has already been sealed by me long before you were born. When you do this, you will discover that the deep peace you have always longed for is already here, in my embrace, in your communion with me. My child, be courageous, and let go of the things that have held your soul captive for so long. Dare to live for what is true, for what is sacred, for what is eternal, and you will see that everything else will fall into its rightful place. You will no longer live in fear, no longer be weary, because you will have found the true riches, the riches in me, in my everlasting presence. Beloved one, there is an urgency in my voice today. It is not a passing word nor a vague idea, but a cry from the deepest part of you, the place that connects you to eternity. That essential core is crying out, longing to be acknowledged, to be set aflame, to live in alignment with the original meaning I planted within you from the very beginning. You have dwelt too long in the shallow world, where the glitter of appearances may captivate your eyes, yet your soul grows emptier with every moment. The things you chase are like the shimmer of a mirage. They shine for an instant, but when you reach for them, they dissolve, leaving you with an emptiness greater than before. I call you, my child, to dig deeper. Stop letting yourself be carried away by the surface layers of life. It is time for you to dare to descend into the depths of your soul, where the precious pearl awaits discovery. That pearl does not come from the world, but from my very breath breathed into you. It has been there since the day you were formed, yet through the years the noise of life, forgetfulness, and burdens not worth carrying have covered it in dust. You thought it was lost, but in truth you simply have not bowed low enough to see that the treasure remains intact, radiant, and waiting for the day it will be revealed. My child, I see that you are weary. Time and again you have tried to find meaning in achievements, in recognition, in fleeting relationships, yet in the end your heart remains desolate. You ask yourself, why do I still feel empty even though I have more than I once did? I tell you this, it is because you have not yet touched the true pearl. What lies outside is but a glittering shell, unable to satisfy the soul. Only when you turn inward, enter the stillness, and allow me to guide you, will you truly rediscover yourself. My beloved, do not be afraid of going deeper. To dig deep is to face what you once buried, your wounds, your regrets, the dreams you thought had died. Yet know this, it is precisely there in that ground you believed barren that the seed of life still lies waiting for the day to sprout. The precious pearl I have placed within you bears witness that darkness cannot extinguish the light, failure cannot strip away true worth, and the past cannot define your future. Imagine a miner who does not fear descending into the dark depths, for he knows there lies gold, there lies treasure. In the same way, I invite you to step courageously into the depths of your spirit, where you will discover the sacred treasure. It is there that I have inscribed your name, there that I have planted within you a song only you can sing, a light only you can shine. And when that pearl is unearthed, not only will your life be transformed, but those around you will also be illuminated. My beloved child, I know you have feared living true to yourself, because this world has often made you believe that you must pretend in order to be accepted. You have tried to become the version that others expected, but the more you did so, the further you drifted from your true essence. My child, I did not create you to be someone else's shadow. I created you, unique, distinct, carrying within you a mission that no one else can fulfill. Dig deep, reclaim that truth, and see that you are indeed a masterpiece formed by my hands. You have grown accustomed to the noise, the rush of work, the urgings of ambition, the call of desire, and the faint whispers of comparison. All of these blend into a chaotic symphony, making you think that this is life's purpose. Yet within that chaos you have not realized one thing: the true melody of your soul has been buried. My child, today I call you to be still. Let the noise fade away so you may hear the original sound from me, a melody pure, powerful, and overflowing with life. My child, I have never ceased searching for you. Every tear you shed I have seen. Every pain you hide I have known. But above all, I see the precious gem within you. I do not see you through your cracks. I see you through the value I placed within you. Like a diamond, though buried under soil and stone, its worth never diminishes. Indeed, the more it is refined, the more radiant it becomes. So it is with you. Your trials do not lessen your value, but prepare that gem within you to shine more brilliantly than ever before. My beloved, believe this: when you dare to dig deep, you will find me. For I am not standing far off waiting. I am within you in the treasure I already placed there. You do not need to run searching outward, for I am here within every breath, in every quiet moment, in every whisper you hear in the depths of your soul. My child, do not continue wandering in a world that only lives on the surface. That world may fascinate you for a moment, but in the end it will leave you empty. Be brave enough to step away from what only distracts you and enter the journey of unearthing the true pearl. When you do, you will see your whole life transformed. You will no longer live to please the world, but to live in alignment with an eternal purpose. You will no longer chase after false lights, but will become a lamp shining for many others. My beloved, I call you today to listen to the urgency in my voice. Do not let another day slip away in superficiality. This is the moment when you must decide: either continue living on the surface or dig deep to find true life. I have placed that pearl within you, and now is the time for you to unearth it. Do not fear the darkness, for the very light of that pearl will blaze forth and scatter every shadow. Do not worry that you are not enough, for it is I who make you sufficient. My dear one, begin today. Cast off the false coverings, humble yourself in stillness, and allow me to lead you to the true treasure. When that pearl is unearthed, you will know that you were never meaningless. You will see that you have always been loved, chosen, and destined for a glorious journey. And when you stand in that light, the whole world will know that I am the one who is called, redeemed, and granted you eternal life. My beloved, your true self is not the roles you wear to please others, nor the titles you collect through effort, but the essence I placed within you from the very first moment of your existence. It was my breath that breathed life into you, and from that instant your soul has borne an indelible sacred imprint. That is the core of your being, the indestructible nucleus of your existence, holding the key to a life of fullness, joy, meaning, and peace. Yet you have allowed the dust of the world to dim that light and the empty promises of illusions to pull you away from your true source. I have grown accustomed to living in the whirlwind of haste, always reaching toward the next thing, the next success, the next joy, the next opportunity. Yet with every hurried step I lose the very thing that matters most, the embrace of love that is always open for me. My child, every fleeting moment you waste in chasing illusions is a moment you forfeit the peace I have prepared for you. The world may dazzle you with its sweet promises, but they vanish as quickly as the morning mist before the sun. The pleasures it offers fill you only for an instant, then leave you hungrier than before. My beloved, remember that the truth I have placed within you never changes. It is unshakable, eternal, rising above every shifting circumstance. It is a call that never ceases, a flame that never dies, waiting only for you to return so it may burn brightly once again. I long for you to learn how to hold your soul, not to confine it, but to nurture and care for it so it may grow and guide you back to the path of wholeness. Once you choose to live from that core, you will no longer be burdened with proving your worth, for you will know that it was sealed within you from the very beginning. You have seen how many spend their entire lives chasing fame, wealth, and status, only to find emptiness when they finally reach them. That is because they traded their true essence for things that exist only for a moment. My child, I do not want you to follow those same footsteps. You were not created to wander like one lost in the desert, but to walk as one who knows their roots and their destination. Everything external may change, but the sacred self I have given you remains forever unchanged. Let your soul become fertile ground where my presence can take root blossom and bear fruit. Let each day you live be a declaration that you know you belong to me, that you no longer need to run in vain with the world. You will discover a new joy springing forth, not one built upon circumstances, but upon the truth that you are unconditionally loved. You will come to see that true freedom does not arise from how much power or wealth you possess, but from knowing who you are in me. My child, I long for you to lay down the weariness of chasing after things that quickly fade away. You do not need to prove anything to me. I know you more deeply than you know yourself. I do not look at you through the lens of success or failure. I see you through the eyes of love, and in that gaze you are always enough, always worthy, always deserving of embrace. When you allow this truth to sink into your soul, you will feel a covering of relief, as though the burden you have carried for so long has suddenly been lifted from your shoulders. Beloved, have courage to rise and return to your true identity. Do not let the clamor of the world drown out the gentle whisper within your heart. Do not let the fleeting beauty of the world cause you to forget the eternal beauty within your soul. For everything of this earth will fade, but the truth I have given you will endure forever. You need not fear losing the light, for that light does not come from the world, but from me, the one who never changes, the Alpha and the Omega. My child, learn to slow down, to listen to the rhythm of your own breath, and in every heartbeat remember that it is evidence you are carrying life from me. Each beat is a reminder that you were not made merely to exist or to be consumed, but to reflect my love and my light. When you live from that sacred root, you will find that you are no longer easily swayed by empty promises or passing temptations. You will gain the wisdom to discern what is true and what is illusion, and you will choose what is eternal. My beloved child, what I desire is not that you become perfect in the eyes of the world, but that you return whole in my sight. For wholeness does not mean never stumbling, but choosing to return even after you fall. Wholeness is not about achieving everything, but about holding firm to the truth within. Wholeness is living as you were created to be, no more, no less, without pretense, without hiding. Remember, you are called to be a light in a world full of darkness. But you cannot shine if your soul remains imprisoned in illusions. You can only truly shine when you allow your sacred essence to lead you home, and then you will see your life transformed. You will no longer feel weary from striving to compete. Instead, you will walk with lightness, for you will know you are living with true meaning, embraced in the steady arms of the divine. My child, do not delay. Return to that source. Embrace your true self, nurture it, and let it become the compass that guides you through every storm. For when you live from your sacred essence, you will see that joy, peace, and wholeness are no longer distant but present in every moment. And this is the eternal gift I long for you to experience. Beloved, the truth you so deeply desire does not lie in noise, nor in the applause of the crowd, nor in the fleeting praise of the world. It does not come from the clamor of the square or the dazzling lights of fame. That truth can only be found in the stillness of your soul, in the heart that knows how to open in the moments when you allow yourself to pause and listen to the sacred rhythm echoing from eternity. I am there still, always by your side, whispering gently in the quietest places of your mind. These whispers are not meant to frighten you, but to awaken you to a mystery. You have long overlooked the mystery of your own sacred existence woven by my hand. You have wandered too far in restless days, believing yourself to be cut off, lost, and forgotten. Yet I tell you this, every illusion of separation is nothing more than a veil clouding your eyes. In truth, you have never been abandoned. You have never been severed from the source of life. All you need is to turn back, to respond, to open your eyes and see you have always been and will always remain a part of the sacred and eternal stream. You are not merely a fragile body, but an immortal soul clothed in human form. You are not a lonely traveler upon the earth, but my companion in every step of the journey, even when you are unaware. My child, learn to cease your fleeing and begin to reflect. Reflect on the simple beauty of life unfolding within you, a slow breath, a steady heartbeat. These are testimonies of the wondrous gift of life, signs that I still uphold you, that your existence is no accident but part of a great work of creation. As you inhale and exhale in stillness, know that you are participating in the profound mystery of the universe, of which I am both the source and the fulfillment. You have grown accustomed to seeking grand things to prove your existence, but I tell you that the greatest lies within the simplest: a breath, a heartbeat, a blink of an eye, a ray of sunlight piercing through leaves, a drop of rain falling gently. All these testify that life itself is a miracle. You need not wait for some glorious wonder to know I am present. It is in the smallest of things that I reveal my power and my love. Beloved child, the world will never pause to remind you of this truth. It constantly drives you forward, urging you to run faster, do more, possess more, but I call you to slow down. Dare to step out of that weary cycle and return to eternal truth. For if you do not stop, you will forever see yourself as but a drifting grain of sand upon the ocean of life. Yet when you pause, you will realize that you are a star I have kindled, forever joined to the boundless heavens, never apart from the eternal light. Have you ever felt that there is an emptiness within you that cannot be filled? That is because you have been searching for answers outside of yourself, in the noise and in fleeting things. But know this, the answer has always been within you, in the quiet presence where I dwell. That is why each time you allow yourself to sit still without needing to prove anything or achieve anything, you feel a gentle comfort spreading through you. In that moment, you touch me, and I touch you. My child, the time has come for you to respond, not only to listen but to walk forward, not only to long but to act. Leave behind the illusions of separation and begin to live with the awareness that you are already connected with me, with the sacred, with eternity. Do not let the noise drown out the voice within. Do not let the world deceive you into believing you are alone. Know that I am here, closer than your very breath, closer than the beat of your heart. When you live in that awareness, everything changes. Fear will no longer be able to bind you. Pressures from the outside will no longer control you. You will begin to see clearly what is true and what is false. You will realize that wholeness is not found in how much you accomplish, but in knowing to whom you belong. And when you know that you belong to me, you will cease wandering, cease striving for you, will have found your resting place. My beloved, learn to listen to the life unfolding within you as if it were a sacred hymn. Each breath is a note, each heartbeat is a drum. Your whole being is an instrument, resounding with the song of creation, and within that song I am the conductor. When you learn to listen, you will see that nothing is random. Every detail, every moment, every sound weaves together to tell you a story, the story that you are loved, that you have a purpose, and that you are part of eternity. My child, do not let weariness convince you that this life is meaningless. Do not let failures make you believe that you have no worth. I created you with a clear intention that you may live fully in my presence, that you may reflect divine beauty in a world often shrouded in darkness. Take hold of that truth and walk forward, not as one who is lost, but as a child who has found the way home. My beloved child, it is precisely in this state of complete presence that you will discover a profound peace, one you have long been unable to reach, no matter how far and wide you have searched. This peace is unlike the false silence the world sometimes offers, nor is it the fragile rest that comes after days of toil. It is a lasting stillness from the very core of your being, a peace bestowed by the Holy Spirit, one that no one can take away even when storms rage around you. And within this peace you will uncover clarity, a fresh perspective on life, illuminating even the things that once seemed obscure to you. My child, this call is not for you to withdraw from the world, nor to abandon the responsibilities I have entrusted to you. I do not summon you to become one who shuns life or retreats from its currents. On the contrary, I invite you to step into the world with a renewed posture, the posture of awakening, so that every action, every word, every choice is imbued with light from above. I do not desire for you to abandon your daily tasks, but rather to enter them with a listening heart, with eyes that see the deeper meaning hidden within even the smallest details. When you live in awareness, even the most ordinary tasks become sacred. A gentle word to a loved one may become a source of comfort for their soul. A just decision at work may stand as a witness to righteousness. A sincere embrace may become an instrument of healing. And in each of these small things you will recognize my presence. Therefore, love unconditionally, for such love will be the light that shines into every shadowed corner. My beloved child, to live fully, you must learn to let go of fear. Many times you have hesitated to step into relationships, to speak the truth, or to follow my call because you feared rejection or failure. But dear one, to live fully means daring to embrace life with every breath, daring to give love without calculation, daring to face the present moment with an open heart. Only then will you truly taste the mystery of existence. There are times, my child, when you have thought this mystery is too vast, too difficult to comprehend. You have asked yourself, why was I placed in this world? What is the meaning of life? Yet, beloved one, this mystery is not meant to confuse you, but to teach you how to trust and surrender. The mystery is an eternal song, and you are a note that cannot be missing. You do not need to grasp the entire symphony. You only need to play your part faithfully. Let me weave your note into the orchestra of eternity, and you will see your life becoming part of a masterpiece beyond imagination. My child, to live fully is to know that every day is a gift. When you wake and see the morning light, it is a reminder that I still have a purpose for you. When you eat a simple meal, it is proof that I still provide. When you meet a friend, a stranger, or even someone who troubles you, it is an opportunity to practice unconditional love. And when you sit alone in silence, that is when I long to speak with you heart to heart. Beloved, true presence is not something you can achieve by your own strength. It comes when you know how to pause, breathe, and invite me into every moment. When you do this, you will notice the difference. What once left you bewildered will become clear. The burdens that once weighed heavily will begin to lift, and true joy will overflow. For you will no longer be living in the past or the future, but in the now with me, the source of life. My child, I call you to embrace the mystery of existence with an open heart. Do not close your heart for fear of being hurt. Do not lock your soul for fear of loss. When you open yourself, you will see the world around you shine, not because it has changed, but because the light within you has been awakened. And when you allow love to flow through you, you become a river that carries life to all. Do you know, my child, that it is those who live fully and love unconditionally who change the world? Not by the force of power or wealth, but by the gentle strength of love. A love that seeks nothing in return, a love that sets no condition, a love that reflects my very nature. When you live in that love, you become a living witness to the truth that God is love. 1 John 4:8. My child, walk with steady feet, yet carry a tender heart. Work with all your strength, but do not let your work define who you are. Live among the world, yet do not let the world sweep away your true essence. Remember that you are not merely a fragment of the chaos, you are a light sent to shine within it. My beloved one, I see in your eyes a weariness you have not spoken to anyone about. I see the weight upon your shoulders heavy with expectations, your own, your family's, society's, and even the silent comparisons you impose upon yourself. You have tried so hard that even your very breath seems imprisoned in the cycle of responsibility. And in the stillness of the night, when every noise has faded, I know your heart has sighed in loneliness. Behind your smiles and your striving lies a quiet sorrow of the soul, a soul that has forgotten the glory it once bore, the glory crafted by my very hands. My child, I have placed within you a light that no earthly measure can define. You were not created to chase after the fragile standards of this world, for those measures shift from day to day and will never satisfy your soul. I have given you a gift greater than all else, my unconditional love. A love that requires no achievement to prove itself, no outward beauty to adorn it, and no passage of time to weaken it. It is a love rooted in the pure truth of your being, for you were made in the image of the Eternal One. My dear one, this love is the very foundation upon which all true joy is built. When you stand upon it, you will find that no storm can wash away your hope. For true joy does not spring from what you possess, but from knowing that you are loved and accepted even in your weakness. This love is like fresh water flowing through a barren desert, reviving every withered place within your soul. It is like the morning sun scattering the night and bringing new life to all creation. My beloved child, it is this very love that will carry you through even the darkest moments. I know you have walked through days of shadow when every door seemed shut, when your prayers seemed to vanish into nothingness, when you felt utterly invisible in a vast and indifferent world. But my child, it is in that very darkness that my love has continued to burn, keeping alive a flame of hope that can never be extinguished. I was there even when you thought you had been abandoned. I upheld you even when you believed you were about to collapse. And now I remind you of this truth. There is no depth so deep that my love cannot reach. My child, I do not come to add to the burdens of your life, but to set you free from them. You do not need to prove your worth to me. You do not need to be flawless in order to be loved. You do not need to win every battle in order to be accepted. You have always been enough in my eyes, for my love for you does not depend on what you do, but on who you are, a child I have created, called by name, and held in my heart forever. I know of the tears you have shed when no one was watching. I know of the many times you have fallen in silence. But my child, remember this: in every tear my love has surrounded you. I have kept them as precious jewels in my vessel, and I have turned each one into a testimony of my faithfulness in your life. Do not be ashamed of those tears, for they are the sign that your heart is still alive, still longing, still touched by my love. My child, my love does not promise that you will never face trials, but this love guarantees that you will never walk alone. Even if you pass through the fire, I will be with you, so that the flames will not consume you. Even if you cross the waters, I will hold you, so that the floods will not sweep you away. And even when you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will be there as the good shepherd with rod and staff to comfort you. My beloved child, pause for a moment and allow my love to cover your soul. Do not seek it in false lights and fleeting voices. Return to the source where true life begins. This love not only heals old wounds, but also gives you new wings to soar. It not only erases the painful memories of the past, but also rewrites the story of your life with fresh pages filled with hope. My beloved child, I call you today to stand upon the foundation of that love. When you know that you are loved, you will be strong enough to forgive. When you know that you are accepted, you will be courageous enough to walk in the truth. When you know that you are precious in my sight, you will no longer feel the need to prove your worth before the eyes of the world. My love will be the light guiding you in every decision, the anchor holding your soul steady in the storm, and the source of strength that enables you to continue even when you feel as though you have nothing left to offer. My child, my love is not only for you in this moment, but it is an eternal love, unchanging and everlasting. From the very beginning of creation, I chose you. Before you knew me, I already knew you. When you were weak, I upheld you. When you were lost, I called you by name. And today I still speak to you the same truth. This love remains whole, still flowing abundantly, still waiting for you to open your heart and receive it. My beloved child, do not let the burdens of this world cause you to forget this priceless gift. Let my love become your unshakable foundation, upon which you may build a life that cannot be moved, a radiant life even in the darkest night. You do not need to strain just to survive, but rather let my love nourish you, so that you may live fully in the purpose I planted in you from the very beginning. Therefore, my child, open your heart. Let me lift the burdens from your shoulders. Let the light of my love permeate every corner of your soul. When you do this, you will witness a wonder. Silent sorrow will turn into song. Weariness will turn into strength, and despair will turn into hope. You will know that you are not merely surviving, but living abundantly in a love that never fades. My precious child, you do not need to prove your worth, through the gaze or approval of others. Words of praise, the applause of men, even the recognition of the world, all these are fleeting, passing like the wind. They may bring you a moment of joy, but they are never enough to sustain your soul. I want you to know that your true worth has never depended on any external standard or judgment. You were loved from the very beginning, before you did anything, before you achieved success, even before you could call my name. That love surpasses every measure of mankind, for it springs from the very eternal essence of my being. You have been cherished in the heart of the Creator. This is an unshakable truth. When I wove you together in your mother's womb, every line, every detail of you was placed with intention. Not a single part of you is unnecessary. Not a single feature of you is meaningless. Everything about you reflects my perfect design. You are a marvelous work in my eyes, a treasure beyond comparison. The world may fail to see it, others may not acknowledge it, but my love for you has never changed. Embrace this truth, my child. Do not merely hear it and let it pass as a distant word of comfort. Let it sink deeply into every fiber of your being, into the very strands of your soul. Let this love become the rhythm of your heart, the breath in your lungs, and the light in your eyes. When you truly believe and live in this truth, it will transform you entirely. It will set you free from the chains of comparison, from the weight of competition, and from the fear of not being enough. My child, I have seen you striving countless times for acceptance. You have thrown yourself into work, into achievements, into pleasing others, all in an attempt to feel that you are worthy. But I want you to know you do not need to do a single thing more for me to love you. You have always been loved. You have always been enough in my eyes. My love does not increase when you succeed, nor does it diminish when you fail. It is always complete, always abundant, and always reserved for you. Allow this truth to reshape the way you see yourself. When you stand before the mirror, do not only notice the flaws or the scars, see instead my masterpiece. When you hear words of criticism, do not let them become shackles. Remember that my word alone is the eternal truth. When you feel small, remember that I have placed within you a greatness that surpasses your understanding. Beloved one, this love not only upholds you but also strengthens you to love others. When you know that you are accepted unconditionally, you no longer need to compare or envy. When you know you are treasured, you are free to treasure others. When you know you are forgiven, you are strong enough to forgive. This is how love transforms layer upon layer of your soul, moving from the inside out, reshaping the way you live, the way you love, and the way you walk each day. My child, I call you to live in this truth every day. Do not keep it only as a theory, but practice it in every decision, in every interaction. When you face failure, remember that failure does not diminish your worth. When you feel abandoned, remember that you are still held firmly in my arms. When you encounter rejection, remember that you have always been accepted by me, and that is what matters most. Let this love reach even into the dark corners you once tried to hide. Let it soothe the wounds you have not dared to face. Let it remind you that you do not need to be perfect in order to be loved. It is in your weakness that my power is made complete. It is in your tears that my love is revealed most clearly. My child, I have given you this love not for you to keep to yourself, but for it to flow through you to others. When you allow this love to transform you, you will become a light in the darkness, a comfort to the brokenhearted, and a hope to the hopeless. Your life will become a living testimony that unconditional love is real, that there is a Creator still embracing humanity with arms that never let go. Beloved child, let me remind you once more, you do not need to prove your worth. You do not need to chase after fleeting recognition. You have been loved before you could do anything to earn it. You were chosen before the foundation of the world. You have been called by name engraved upon my heart, and nothing, no power, no trial, no darkness can separate you from that love. My beloved, within each day lies a sacred moment quietly calling out to you. A moment not marked on the clock, not written into your busy schedule, yet it is always present like an open doorway in the rush of life, inviting you to step into deep stillness. It is the moment when time seems to pause, where you are neither pulled back by the past nor pushed forward by the future. Everything around you becomes weightless, and the world with its noise, its demands, its endless collisions fades away, giving space to a holy place where I am waiting for you. In that moment, you do not need to pretend, you do not need to appear strong, and you do not need to strain yourself to become something else. You only need to be present. Simply step in and allow yourself to be real. That is when every illusion falls away, every mask shatters, and you see yourself as I see you, not lacking, not broken, but radiant, precious, and deeply loved. You have lived too long in a hurried rhythm where your worth was measured by productivity, by the attention of others, by the things you accomplished. But my child, it is in this pause that you will come to realize a profound truth: you were not created merely to do, but to be. This being is not passive. It is a deep state of awareness where you know who you are in me and who I am in you. Beloved one, when you step into that stillness, you will discover something you had not seen before. Your soul is truly beautiful. Not because you are perfect by the standards of the world, but because you were formed from my very love. I have woven every part of you with wisdom and kindness. Each facet of your being, whether it is what you cherish or what you try to hide, is part of a grand and sacred design. I know there are days when you look into the mirror and see yourself weary, insecure, even disappointed. But when you linger long enough, when you enter into silence deep enough, what you will see is not the image judged by worldly measures, but the light burning within, a light that has never gone out, only covered. And in that very moment I will whisper to you, you are my masterpiece. You bear within you the image of the eternal. My beloved child, pausing does not mean falling behind. On the contrary, it is the birthplace of true strength. In pausing, you re-establish your communion with me. In pausing, you regain the clarity that busy days have stolen from you. In pausing, you hear the inner voice you have long ignored. And from that place, restoration begins, quiet yet profound, slow yet steady. The potential within you has never disappeared. It has only been buried under layers of worry and doubt. But in the moment of pausing, I peel away those layers one by one. Like a skilled potter shaping clay into a precious vessel, I patiently refine you, not because you are broken, but because I see a beauty you yourself have never believed was real. My child, you were not destined to live small, resigned, or merely surviving. You were destined to shine, to reflect grace, to radiate love. And yet all of this does not begin by doing more, but by taking one step to pause. Pause to breathe. Pause to look deeply within. Pause to remember that your soul carries within it the seed of heaven. When you learn to treasure these moments, you will begin to live differently. You will no longer be swept away so easily by the whirlwinds of the world. You will no longer rush to react out of fleeting emotions. You will become gentler, steadier, deeper, like a still lake, able to mirror the whole sky. And in that very stillness, I will sow within you promises, ideas, and visions that in your busyness you once failed to notice. My child, I invite you to live from the inside out, not from the outside in. For if you let circumstances define you, you will always be unsettled. But if you allow the sacred identity within to guide you, you will live as one with deep roots unshaken, though circumstances may change. Each moment you pause to reconnect with your soul, you are rekindling your connection with me. And each time a new layer of meaning unfolds, a new door is opened, a new heaven is unveiled. My beloved child, you do not need to prove your worth through the eyes or the approval of others. Compliments, applause, and even the world's acceptance, all these are fleeting, passing like the wind. They may bring you joy for a moment, but they cannot sustain your soul. I want you to know that your true value is not built upon any external standard or judgment. You were loved from the very beginning, before you did anything, before you achieved any success, even before you could call my name. That love surpasses every human measure, for it flows from the very eternal nature of who I am. You have always been treasured in the heart of the Creator. This is an unshakable truth. When I wove you together in your mother's womb, every line, every detail of your being was placed there with intention. Nothing in you is wasted and no part of you is meaningless. Everything about you reflects my perfect design. You are a marvelous work in my sight, a treasure beyond comparison. The world may not see it, others may not recognize it, but my love for you has never changed. Embrace this truth, my child. Do not merely hear it and let it pass by as some distant comfort. Let it sink deep into your very flesh, into every fiber of your soul. Let this love become the rhythm of your heart, the breath in your lungs, and the light in your eyes. When you truly believe and live in this truth, it will transform your whole being. It will free you from the chains of comparison, from the weight of competition, and from the fear that you are not enough. My dear one, I have seen you striving time and again to be accepted. You have thrown yourself into work, into achievements, into pleasing others, just to feel that you have value. But I want you to know this: you do not need to do anything more to be loved by me. You have always been loved. You have always been enough in my eyes. My love does not increase when you succeed, nor does it decrease when you fail. It is always whole, always abundant, and always reserved for you. Let this truth transform the way you see yourself. When you stand before the mirror, do not only notice the flaws or the scars, but behold my masterpiece. When you hear words of criticism, do not let them become chains, but remember that my words are the eternal truth. When you feel small, remember that I have placed within you a vast potential beyond your own understanding. My beloved child, this love not only upholds you, but also empowers you to love others. When you know you have been unconditionally accepted, you no longer need to compare or envy. When you know you are cherished, you are free enough to cherish others. When you know you are forgiven, you are strong enough to forgive. This is how love transforms every layer of your soul from within, flowing outward, changing the way you live, the way you love, and the way you walk. My child, I call you to live in this truth every single day. Do not hold it only as a theory, but practice it in every decision, in every interaction. When you face failure, remember that failure does not diminish your worth. When you feel abandoned, remember that you are still held tightly in my arms. When you face rejection, remember that you have always been accepted by me, and that is what matters most. Let this love reach even the darkest corners you once tried to hide. Let it soothe the wounds you have not yet dared to face. Let it remind you that you do not need to be perfect in order to be loved. It is in your weakness that my power is made complete. It is in your tears that my love is revealed most clearly. My child, I have given you this love, not for you to keep only for yourself, but so that it may flow through you to others. When you allow this love to transform you, you will become a light in the darkness, a source of comfort for the broken, a beacon of hope for those who have lost faith. Your life will stand as a living testimony that unconditional love is real, that there is a Creator still embracing humanity with arms that never let go. Beloved child, let me remind you once more, you do not need to prove your worth. You do not need to chase after fleeting approval. You were loved before you ever did a single thing. You were chosen before the world was formed. You were called by name, engraved upon my heart, and nothing, no power, no trial, no shadow can ever separate you from that love. My dear one, I know there will be moments when doubt sweeps through your soul like an unexpected cold wind. There will be times when old habits, familiar patterns of distraction, sweetly call you back into chaos, into the noisy rhythm where you once struggled. I know you will feel pulled backward as though all your efforts until now are being shaken. But child, do not be afraid, for this does not mean you have failed. In truth, it is in those very moments that you stand before an opportunity to grow, to step into a higher place. Every challenge that comes your way is not meant to destroy you, but to refine you. Each battle you face is not to break you down, but to strengthen your soul so that your faith may stand firm like gold tested in the fire. Remember, you are not fighting alone. With every step you take through the wilderness, I am by your side like a pillar of cloud shading you by day and a pillar of fire guiding you by night. You may tremble, you may feel weak, but never forget that my presence has never left you. My child, do not look at obstacles as walls blocking your path, but see them as steps of a staircase. It is precisely those steps that lift you closer to the full realization of the divine potential I have planted within you. You may think they slow you down, but in truth they are raising you higher. Like a climber facing sheer cliffs, each struggle is an opportunity to draw nearer to the summit of glory. Without the steep ascents, you would never discover the true strength of your own feet. Beloved one, I have seen you grow weary many times as you face the repeated pull of old temptations. You ask yourself, why am I caught in this cycle? Why can't I overcome it? Do not despair, my child. Do not think that I have withdrawn. Each time you stumble, I am still there, not to condemn you, but to stretch out my hand and lift you up. I am never surprised by your faltering steps, for I know well the frailty of human nature. What I desire is not flawless perfection, but a heart that refuses to give up, a heart that keeps choosing to rise and walk with me. Remember, trials are not a sign that you have strayed from the path. On the contrary, they are evidence that you are moving toward the light. For darkness never leaves in peace those who seek truth. Each time you choose light instead of darkness, you have won a victory even in the smallest things. And it is precisely these quiet victories that are building within you an inner strength no one can ever take away. My child, I call upon you not to let your heart falter in the face of difficulties. Look beyond the obstacles before your eyes. For I have promised in every trial I am always with you. When you feel alone within the closed room, I am there. When you walk among the crowd yet still feel lonely, I still hold your hand. When you are exhausted and believe you no longer have the strength to go on, I am the very strength that lifts you up and keeps you standing. Be assured that every battle you face is not by chance, but has been permitted, so that you may be refined, so that it may be revealed that you are destined for something greater. Each challenge is like an unseen hand shaping you, cutting away what is unnecessary to uncover the original beauty I placed within you. You may think that trials weaken you, but in truth, they are teaching you to depend on me so that my strength may be made perfect in your weakness. My child, remember the times you have already overcome in the past. In those moments you also thought you could not, yet you rose again, not by your own strength, but by the grace I gave you. This means that today as well, and tomorrow too, you will never have to fight any battle alone. I am in every drop of sweat you shed, in every step you take, in every breath you breathe. I am Emmanuel, God with you. Beloved child, do not be afraid when you find yourself doubting. Doubt does not disqualify you. Doubt is simply an opportunity for you to draw nearer to me, to ask questions and to find answers in me. Do not fear when old habits try to pull you back. What matters is that you do not allow them to keep you bound. See them instead as reminders that you need me every day, that you cannot on your own, but in me you can do all things. Be courageous and keep moving forward, my child. Do not let one fall cause you to abandon the whole journey. Do not let one lie make you forget the truth. Do not let one closed door convince you that all doors are locked. For I have opened doors for you that no one can shut, and I have placed within you the strength to step through those thresholds. My child, every time you choose to rise after a fall, you prove to the darkness that the light within you cannot be extinguished. Each time you choose forgiveness over bitterness, hope over despair, and trust over fear, you are stepping onto a new rung of the ladder. And with every step you are being drawn closer to the summit I have prepared for you, the place where you will fully recognize the divine potential I planted within you since the beginning of time. My beloved, there is one thing the world constantly seeks to steal from you: the stillness of your soul. For it is in that very place that I can speak directly to you, the sacred dwelling where I sow my promises and my guidance into your heart. The enemy knows that if you guard the silence within, you will carry a strength that nothing can shake, for you will hear my voice amidst 1,000 clamors. And so it tries every way to sweep you into a whirlwind of haste, convincing you that your worth is found in outward accomplishments, when in truth your true value springs from belonging to me. You have felt weary many times, haven't you? Though your hands are full of work and your plans pile high, when the night falls, there remains a hollow within that nothing seems able to fill. That is not weakness, but the cry of a forgotten part of your soul. It is like a flickering candle in the wind, longing for shelter, so that it may burn ever bright. You cannot find lasting fulfillment in fleeting pleasures, nor can you find peace in passing praise. True satisfaction comes only when you return to the very source of life, when you return to me. Remember this, not all who have encountered me found me in grand temples or in the shouts of the crowd. Many met me in the stillness of the wilderness, in the whisper of the wind upon a solitary mountain. The prophet Elijah did not encounter me in the storm, nor in the earthquake, nor in the fire, but in the gentle whisper. 1 Kings 1:9-1:2. My child, that is how I long to meet you as well, in the tender whisper, in the silence that nothing else intrudes upon. I know there are moments when you fear silence, because when everything comes to a halt, you are forced to face wounds that have not yet healed, memories that still ache. But do not be afraid, for I am the one who will heal you. I will take the ashes within you and exchange them for a radiant crown. I will take your mourning and turn it into a song of joy. I will take your heaviness and replace it with a garment of praise. Isaiah 6:1-3. All you need to do is dare to enter, dare to remain in the stillness, and I will transform it into a place of encounter, a place where you will find a love that never fades. Picture your soul as a garden. If you do not tend it, thorns and weeds will grow, hiding the fragrant flowers and the sweet fruits. But if you are willing to prune, to spend time watering, that garden will become a place overflowing with life. The sacred space within you is the same if you nurture it with my word, with praise, with moments of quiet in my presence. It will become a garden of blessing, a place where you can truly find rest. My beloved child, I do not want you to live only on the voices outside, for those voices shift so easily and often leave you confused. I long for you to learn to live from within, from the place where you and I are united, where my love nourishes your soul. In that place you will no longer be swayed by opinion nor shaken by circumstances. Even if storms rage around you within, you will remain a still lake reflecting the light of heaven. Set apart time for me, just as a friend saves a special place for the one they cherish. You do not need many words nor complicated rituals, only a sincere heart. Enter your room, close the door, and speak with me, as a child speaks with their father. In those seemingly simple moments, I will reveal to you the secrets of the kingdom. As Jesus once said, but when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. Matthew 6:6. My child, I long for an intimate fellowship with you. I do not want you to merely hear about me through others, but to experience me yourself, to touch me and to receive from me. I desire that you realize my presence is not far away, but right here, in every breath, in every heartbeat, in every moment you turn toward me. The more you learn to listen within, the clearer you will see me, and you will no longer doubt that I am always walking beside you. Do not let the pressures and responsibilities of life steal away that sacred place. You may work, you may be busy, but learn to keep within your heart a space that belongs to me alone. Just as the Israelites of old built the tabernacle in the wilderness to remind themselves that the Lord was in their midst, so also you must build a tabernacle within your own heart, a place to which you can return at any moment, where the flame never goes out. My beloved child, I say this so that you will remember the world may offer you many things, but only I can give you true life. Money may buy comfort, but it cannot buy peace. Fame may bring praise, but it cannot fill the emptiness of the soul. Only when you step into the silence with me will you find the living water that never runs dry. It was I who declared, whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give will become in them a spring of water, welling up to eternal life. John 4:1-4. Therefore, my child, return. Rebuild that sanctuary of peace within your soul where you and I may meet. Do not let the days pass by in regret for having missed my whisper. Let your heart open that I may embrace you in my merciful arms. When you allow that holy silence to surround you, you will realize that you have never been alone. I am still here waiting, calling your name, ready to give you a life that is whole, meaningful, and steeped in an unchanging love. My beloved one, let my words pour over your weary heart like a refreshing stream. I know there is something stirring within you, a longing to live truly, to cast off the disguises, to touch the deepest part of yourself in its fullness and holiness. This longing is no accident. It is the call I planted in your heart from the beginning. Now I invite you to return not to any outward place, but to where your soul truly belongs, my presence and the truest presence of your own self. Let the child be free from the pressure of having to be perfect, of having to be strong at all times, of having to smile while the heart is breaking. I do not need you to put on layers of masks just to please someone else. I do not look at appearances, I see the heart. I do not demand that you present a polished version of yourself in order to be received by me. On the contrary, it is the very cracks, the wounded places, the silent tears. All of these are what I desire you to bring before me. For it is right there that my power can intervene, my love can touch, and healing can begin. My child, holiness does not come from hiding your weaknesses, but from daring to bring everything into the light. When you dare to let go of the mask of I'm fine, when you stop trying to appear strong in order to be accepted, that is when you truly step into the deepest communion with me. For I love you not because of what you can do for me, but because you are you. I do not love you because you are without fault, but in the very midst of your flaws I still see my image in you. Receive this invitation as a new beginning. Every present moment is an opportunity to return. Return to yourself, return to me, return to the original purpose I placed within you. You do not need to chase after the standards society has stamped upon you, nor live under the weight of others' expectations. Let truth guide you, the truth that you are, my beloved child, chosen, anointed, and sent. When you live true to the being I created you to be, you will discover that life is no longer a burden, but a sacred journey. How long have you lived caught between what others expect of you and the quiet voice within? How many times have you found yourself lost in roles, smiling while your heart was shattered, nodding when you longed to scream, I understand. I see, and I do not condemn you for this. I only want you to know the time has come when you no longer need to live that way. I want you to be free. Free to cry, to breathe, to sing, to run, to rest, to live, not to please, but to be one with me. When you return to the present, you will discover something wondrous, that everything you have long been searching for, safety, affirmation, fulfillment, is not hidden in some vague future or buried in a regretful past, but right here, in this very moment where I am with you. This is a sacred moment, the place where barriers dissolve and you realize you have never been abandoned. Each day I give you is not merely for survival, but for unfolding. Every morning you awaken is not simply to check off a list of tasks, but to be immersed in the abundant life I have promised. Life is not a race, but a garden where each step you take can leave behind traces of love, gratitude, and true life. Yet to live this way, you must dare to cast off the worn garment of striving and clothe yourself with the gentle robe of truth. This is an act of courage, yet also the act of those who are being restored. My beloved, I have seen you wrestle in silence. I have heard the words you never dared to speak aloud. I know the fears you have hidden even from yourself. But now I call you, my beloved child, come home. I have prepared for you a place of rest, a place free from pressure, free from comparison, free from the weight of not being enough. I know there will be times you hesitate. For returning to the truth also means facing the parts of yourself you have tried to deny. But do not be afraid. I will walk with you. I will take your hand through every mask, every wound, every story you once tried to forget. And little by little you will begin to see the light within yourself, the light I placed there before you were ever formed in your mother's womb. When you begin to live truthfully, no longer hiding, no longer conforming to false expectations, then my love will overflow in you. In that moment, every breath of your life will no longer be a burden or a duty, but a sacred dance between you and the Creator. Each of your actions will become a manifestation of glory, of joy, of authentic life. This is what I invite you to step into, a life redefined, not by the past, not by fear, but by eternal love. A life in which you no longer flee from yourself, but rejoice in living fully as the person I created you to be, the one who bears the imprint of heaven, the breath of the Spirit, and the mission to bring light into the darkness. My beloved child, all that I have spoken to you is not merely passing words of comfort, but the assurance that you have never been abandoned, that my love continues to surround and uphold you with every breath you take. You were not created to dwell in doubt and shadow, but to become light, reflecting the glory of the Creator. Though trials may press in and temptations may pull you, remember that I, the Living One, am always with you, strengthening you, opening the way before you, and guiding you through every valley. This is the moment for you to rise, to stand firm in truth, and to let my unconditional love transform the whole of your life. And now, my child, I call you to bow your heart in prayer. Prayer is the breath of the soul, the doorway to communion with me. When you pray, you do not merely utter words, but you surrender your heart so that I may pour new life into you. Let these prayers be not only spoken phrases, but deep cries from your soul echoing to heaven and touching the heart of the one who always listens. Lord, I thank you for loving me with unconditional love. Though I may be weak, stumble, or lose my way, your love never changes. I ask you to help me open my heart to receive this truth that I am already enough in your eyes without having to chase after the shallow measures of the world. Grant that I may always remember that you are the firm foundation, the place where I find true worth and lasting joy. Lord, I confess that there are times when I doubt and am pulled back by old habits. Yet in those very moments of weakness, I cry out for you to uphold me and strengthen my faith. Please grant me the strength to stand firm, the courage to continue on, and the wisdom to discern the difference between your voice and the noise of the world. I know that your grace is sufficient for me, and I desire to place my trust in you. Lord, in every trial, remind me that you are always with me. When I walk through the darkness, be the light that guides my way. When I pass through the fire, be my shelter. When I feel exhausted, be my renewed strength. I do not want to see trials as burdens, but as steps that help me grow and draw closer to the image you have destined for me. Lord, I ask you to heal the wounds I carry in my heart, the painful memories, the words that once crushed me, and the fears that have bound me for so long. Let your love erase all bitterness, wipe away every tear, and replace everything with new hope. I believe that you can turn all things into good, even what I once thought was failure. Lord, help me to live fully in each present moment. Do not let me be pulled back by the past or anxious about the future. Teach me to see you in the smallest things, in the morning sunlight, in the song of a bird, in the smile of a stranger. Teach me to love unconditionally, to forgive generously, and to live with an open heart. Lord, may my life become a living testimony of your love. I do not want to keep this love only for myself, but I long to be a vessel through which your love flows to others. Let me comfort the suffering, encourage the discouraged, and bring light to those who are lost. I want my life to be a lamp in the darkness, a witness that God is love. Lord, finally, I place my whole self into your hands, my dreams, my failures, my joys, and even my fears. Shape me according to your will, so that I may become an instrument of glory in your hands. I do not want to live merely to exist, but to walk in the destiny you have prepared for me. Lead me, walk with me, and keep me always in your unfailing love until the very end. I lift up this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so together we can build a strong community of faith.